Kevin Samuels is a regular man. You can't. He not God. I think sometimes people think these people are higher or mightier than they are, so they value their opinion so much that they tend to believe it.
But let's read an article that this, I believe she's a young lady, wrote about
We're,
Kevin Samuels. Now, Brandon. Now, I don't get triggered, but some words do stand out more than others to me.
that's true.
When I see black feminists,
Feminists. Mm-hmm.
no, this special black feminists, they means they hate me. They hate black dicks. They hate them. They hate
and
them
they
with a passion.
and they may. I'm not gonna say 9 times out of 10, but maybe 50-50. They may hate the typical family structure too,
Structure.
on the low.
The reason I can't tell this is a man or woman, this may be her, maybe not. I don't know that's her, but I do think she's a female because those look like real titties to me.
Right. And it looked like somebody had a baby. Just pass about it. Don't even worry about it.
All right, check this out. We gonna read. Here's an article she wrote in the Root, which is a white organization, but has blackface. Here's the
Right.
article.
Right.
When will Kevin Samuels finally be cancelled? If you've been following the career of Kevin Samuels, who calls himself an image consultant, you'd know that he has amassed a large following over the last 2 years by dispensing dating advice. Those messages frequently disparage women, with some of his most notable YouTube videos being, "How much does your submission cost?" "Modern women are average at best?" and "Why aren't you married?" Apparently, all you need is a nice suit and a pair of glasses to play the part of a relationship expert. Earlier this year, he received the ultimate cosign from Future, which should tell you all you need to know. Last week, Samuels caused controversy after saying that women who are 35 and unmarried are considered leftovers. In the clip that circulated on social media, he took to his soapbox to spew this misogynistic rhetoric. "If you have made it to 35 and you are unmarried, you are a leftover woman. You are what is left. Men know that there is likely something wrong with you. Whether you want to hear it or not, I'm going to go there with you. I'm telling you the truth that you don't want to hear." Why does Kevin Samuels continue to have a platform when it's built on the backs of the women he hates? Samuels himself is 56, twice divorced and currently unmarried, yet somehow he, and all men, are excluded from this logic. Despite data proving single and childless women are the happiest population subgroup, the self-proclaimed influencer still voices his deep-seated contempt for us. Statements like these reinforce sexist beliefs that we alone carry the burden and shame of singledom. Not to mention, black women are constantly being reminded about the discriminatory nature of modern-day dating. We are the least likely to be approached on dating apps, and for years have been barraged with statistics claiming that we are the group also least likely to marry. Samuels not only plays on the hysteria that a woman's greatest fear is being single, he amplifies it. For black women, his words are even more damning. He went on to address women directly in that same video. "And here's the thing, when you were between the ages of 22 and 25 and you didn't want to settle, you were trying to get the CEO, the pilot, the investment banker. You were trying to get flued out. If you are a woman 35 plus and you want a man that's on the same lifestyle level, you're going to have to share him." Samuels is 1. Shaming us for not being married by a certain age, 2. Implying that we are gold diggers, and 3. Advising us to partake in unhealthy relationships that are solely advantageous to men. Black women are abused at alarming rates in this country, which frequently comes in the form of domestic violence. Advocating for this instead of something safer, like staying single until you find the right partner, makes his words not only asinine but dangerous. As we all know, our culture loves to construct dating gurus out of men sporting thinly veiled disdain for women. However, Samuel's line of thinking goes beyond he's just not that into you or think like a man. It promotes low self-esteem in women, which makes them more vulnerable to harmful encounters. Yes, he has been called out for his lowly antics before. But for a society so obsessed about the ramifications of being cancelled, when do we start canceling the people who actually deserve it?
Okay, okay, Brandon. Now, I know I don't know the real job of a journalist, but it seems like she has a lot of one-way opinion about Mr. Kevin Samuels.
Mhm.
Now, should Kevin be canceled?
No.
Why not?
Well, we have free speech. As long as you're doing and going with the guidelines on YouTube, I don't think what he does should be canceled. He's speaking his opinion, and if you don't agree with his opinion, you don't have to follow it up. I don't think it's out of control where he's causing men to harm women in a certain way. You know, just if he's convincing men to think this way, I mean that's on the man that he's convincing. If you don't like
Ha-
that kind of man as a woman, you shouldn't date him. But you can't think that everybody, all men thinking what Kevin Samuels is preaching is right. We all have our own mind. It's people that's on the other side. It's a woman. I'm not gonna say her name, but they saying that you shouldn't. If you're pregnant with a boy, you should terminate him because we have enough men that are doing bad, and if you're bringing men in this world,
Is this
you
Black
you
Lives
know,
Matter person?
no,
Okay, I heard this
it's
before,
not.
but go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, that's on the other side. All men are trash, they're garbage bags, and they have their own little thing over there. But I can't say that they need to be canceled either. I mean, if that's how you feel and you want to express that, go for it. If a lot of people feel that way, that's fine too. But at the end of the day, people on YouTube, they're entertaining just like anybody else. Like you're watching a movie or a basketball game. I don't even think Kevin Samuels really believes everything he says, and sometimes the headlines, the titles of some of his videos, it's just to bring people in, it's to trigger people. He sees that works, so he likes to play with people's emotions, kind of like how you were saying last time. He's not even talking about most of the people who are listening. He's talking about the small percent of high value men.
Do you think Kevin Samuels promotes low self esteem in women?
Does he promotes low self esteem? I think he,
Mm-hmm.
I think implies his opinion on the woman. Like you're not gonna tell me about how I am. You're not gonna rate me how you think I am. I mean, you can, but that doesn't mean that's the truth. You know what I'm saying? If you have low self esteem and you look up to Kevin Samuels is a regular man. You can't. He's not God. I think sometimes people think these people are higher or mightier than they are, so they value their opinion so much that they tend to believe it.
You know what, Brandon? I just thought about because when I said he promotes low self esteem. He talks about weight a lot,
Yeah, he does talk
and
about weight.
when I think about me, when I was around 19, where I lost all the weight and
Hmm.
gained a whole bunch of muscle,
Hmm.
man, my self esteem was through the roof.
Right.
Man, I was Superman. I challenge anybody. I don't care
Hmm.
what we had a foot race, jumping, push ups. I would challenge anybody. Wasn't afraid of nothing. But as I got, I guess, more heavier, I can't. My self esteem is not like Superman anymore. It's
Hmm.
more like Clark Clint.
But that's your
So
own personal, assessment of yourself. You didn't let somebody tell you where you should be weight wise because you were happy at a certain weight. Well, what if somebody told you that was unacceptable? You should be thinner than that.
no, I'm saying, but can women experience the same thing I
Yeah, yeah,
experienced?
yeah. Of
When I
course.
was more fit, I felt better about myself.
I think so. I think a lot of women who are heavier, they feel like they want to be smaller, and a lot of women who are smaller want to be heavier. and
Well, I could.
it's hard to find a balance where you're happy, but you may never find where you're truly happy because it's a battle. You go both ways, but
Well, I can tell you this about me. All the women I know when they were smaller and as they got heavier as the year passed, their self
mm,
esteem did drop. So
when they got heavier,
just a little bit, because
yeah, it's just
it,
yeah. It's like I say,
it
it's
did
hard to.
drop.
Mm,
So is he promoting that, or he's trying to
no,
encourage these ladies to take
I
more?
think he's
And
with the
man too, he tell
right.
the man too. He said, I should lose my gut. That's what he telling
Right.
me.
Right. I just think people don't see when he's talking to a man because it's not as sensational when he talks to a man. It's better when he's talking down to a woman, telling her she need to lose weight because you're not supposed to talk about a woman's age or weight or anything like that. So I think that's where a lot of the attention comes from. He's like, oh well, I should keep doing this, because it's working. It's getting me a lot of attention, a lot of press. So I think he does it for that, but he's just telling you what he feels. Some you might need to work out. What's wrong with hearing that? Like I can take some advice from somebody and not take it to heart so much where his word is gospel. You see what I'm saying? I can take constructive criticism. I think some of the stuff he says is a little wrong, but I mean, he just said you call him up. How am I get mad? Somebody called me up. They said, Brandon, what you think? I told you what I think. Oh, you can't be mad at me. I didn't call you. You called me. You know what I'm saying?
Now,
So
Brandon,
go
here's
ahead.
another thing. Now, do you think, now, don't judge me now. This is only me looking. Do you think Mr. Samuels talk like that because he's a slight bit a little saucy? Got a little
Yes,
saucy in him?
yes, I
You know what
do.
I'm talking about.
And
I ain't
yeah,
talking
I
about
do. I
gay
do.
saucy, but he got that little sass. He has a little
He's
sass in him.
he
No,
got a
no.
little tang.
Yes,
He a little tangy.
some straight mans have a little tang in them.
Yeah, right.
And
And
I
he
think
could be. I'm not saying he's bi. He just met hit. What is it? Metrosexual. Like just like
that's what,
kind
yeah.
of talk right there. And like I say, he pays attention to detail, and that's just what kind of a person he is. Like he knows how a woman should dress and this and that. And
You're
like
right.
that's not who I am. I don't know how to do what he does, but
You're right.
women see that, and that's why they call because they want to hear what he has to say, even though they're not going to like what he has to say.
You're
And
right.
I don't agree with all his points, especially about women over 35. But I'm gonna let you go ahead and talk for a second. But go ahead. What you?
You're right. He is metrosexual.
Yeah, he is.
That's like straight, but you know about fashion. You know about, oh girl. Well, I can't say
Right.
that. No,
You
you're
got
right. No,
candles. He
no.
got the candles,
Can't-
and just stuff like that. That's very
about
and it's
fragrance and style.
colognes. Right, right.
Yeah.
I heard one thing he was talking. He was giving a woman advice. It was a while ago. He was saying you need to spray your perfume on a handkerchief or a scarf or something and drop it on the ground
Uh
and have a
huh.
man pick it up. Just I wouldn't know anything about that kind of style or how to catch somebody but he knows that he knows like a
I'll be
man's gonna smell it and
I'll
all
be
that.
running to pick it up too if you look good. Oh, let me get that.
Right.
Oh,
But
let me get that.
but that's his specialty.
Yeah.
And he knows that. But I think he kind of compiles that with dating advice, which I don't tend to agree with all his dating advice, but it doesn't matter. He can say
Would you
whatever he
agree
wants to
to it?
say.
You should not be having sex with all these people.
No, no, no. I think he thinks if you're 35 and you have kids, you're not gonna find a partner. I don't think that's not 100% true. Like you can still find a person and get married and all that kind of stuff.
No,
That
no.
at the well, go ahead.
He says you
Statistically, it might
he
not.
says you have to change. You have to
Yeah,
work
yeah, and
at it to
that's
find
that's
one.
true.
You ain't gonna
Right.
find one. This in general, you ain't up there. You ain't gonna find one
Yeah.
naturally. You gonna have to work at it. You
Yeah,
have to
you're gonna have to work.
change.
And I think women feel like they're the prize and a man had to win them over, but I'm not saying it doesn't have to be that way, but both parties have to be working towards each other in a way. Like, you can't feel like you're so high up and you have baggage too, when you're not perfect.
You know who need to be the prize?
Both people, I think both people are the prize, but
God need to be the prize.
well, that's
That
true too. If
the
you're gonna
follow
pick
what he
somebody,
say, follow what he
right,
say. They get that, then everybody be in line.
right.
Now, Brandon, let me ask you about this. Does Kevin Samuels shame women for not being married by a certain age?
Does he shame them?
Yeah, you
I
see
think
his
he gives
highlighted part.
Yeah, I think he gives his opinion. I think if if Kevin Samuel wasn't doing this show, he wouldn't do it this way. I think this is dramatics. Like, he's being this way because it works. It's sensational. He's doing it. It's a show. Like he gonna, of course he gonna, like I say, if we doing a show and we're just talking regular, it's not gonna get as many eyes on it if we're doing a show cursing and going back and forth. People love the drama. People love toxicity. If somebody's being in the middle, it's not going to be as good as if somebody's on the higher end or the lower end with their content. So I think he's not shaming them. He's talking down. He's saying disrespectful things, but
All right,
he's not shaming them.
let's take this out. Does American society shame individuals for not being married in a certain age?
I think it's a lot of pressure on women to get married. It might not be as much now because people just not doing that. They want to live their life and enjoy it. But yeah, at a point where, I mean, I'm not sure how does your mom, like, people ask you, are you married yet? You thinking about getting married? Who you dating? They want to ask you that kind of stuff. And even after you get married, they're gonna be like, well, when are kids coming? Like, that's just how people are.